Today's project is an art journal page, and this video has been sponsored by Graphic Stock. To begin with, I've chosen 2 shades of Americana craft paint, and the colours I've chosen are Sweet Mint and Sea Breeze. I'm applying these to my journal, which has been gessoed beforehand, using a dry brush technique. And here is the finished background once the paint has dried. The next step is to add some stamping to the page, and for this I've chosen 2 shades of archival ink in Viridian and Magenta, which I mixed together on the back of the stamp. And the stamp is a script, I think it's called French script, by Stamping Up. These are the images by Graphic Stock that I've chosen to add to my page, and I've printed them out onto matte photo paper. So I have a selection of different sized butterflies in different colours and some daisy borders. Before I use the images, I'm just going to seal them with some golden matte medium, and this is so that the colours don't run once I'm applying them to the page. So I'm very gently adding the matte medium and not manipulating it too much. And then I'm going to cut out the images using a pair of detail scissors ready to add to the page. And whilst I'm cutting these out, let me tell you a little bit about graphicstock.com if you're unfamiliar with this website. It's a subscription-based service with unlimited downloads of over 300,000 different graphics, photos, vectors and other types of images that you can use for whatever purpose you want. All of them have a royalty-free license so that you can use them in commercial products too without any issues about copyright at all. If you're interested in a subscription with Graphic Stock, there will be a link in the video description. And this month is Creative Rewards Month, so they are adding an additional 10,000 stock photos to the already extensive library, and they're also rolling out some surprise new product features during the month of April. Now, the subscription cost during this month will be $39 for 6 months membership, which entitles you to completely unlimited downloads. And this is typically $49 for 1 month's membership, so it's a really good saving of 8 to 7% if you sign up during the Creative Community Appreciation Month. And this offer is exclusive to new members only, so if you think it's something you'd enjoy, then just click the link in the video description. Okay, so now that I've finished cutting out all the pieces that I need for the page, I'm adding them to my journal using some golden matte medium. And because I added the layer of matte medium over the top of the images to begin with, I now don't need to worry about how much I manipulate the images with the brush because the ink is sealed in place and it's not going to run. And just in case you're interested, I printed them just using a Canon inkjet printer. Obviously, if you used photocopy images, you wouldn't need to worry about that initial layer to seal those inks in because photocopies won't run in the first place. This is a clear stamp set by Autumn Leaves called Snap Frame Alphabet, and I'm stamping out letters from this set onto 160 GSM smooth white cardstock using VersaFine ink in Onyx Black. And once I've stamped out all the letters that I need, I'm going to cut them out individually using a pair of scissors. And the eagle-eyed amongst you might spot that I've missed out the letter C, which I discover once I'm laying the letters onto the journal page and stamp later. And so here are all the letters, including the letter C, and I'm adding these to my page using some matte medium. Next, I'm taking a second stamp set. This is one called Whimsy Double by Recollections, and this time I'm stamping directly onto the journal page. Once I've finished adding the text to the page, I'm now taking the little butterflies which were downloaded from graphicstock.com, and again I'm using golden matte medium to adhere these onto the page in places where I'd like them to be. Next, I'm going to add some colour to the letters, and for this I've chosen a Silks acrylic glaze in the colour Yellow Rose. And the reason I've chosen this colour is because it's very similar in tone to the yellow that is in the daisy centres. So I wanted to feature this colour in other areas of the page in order to make it look more balanced. And when the letters are complete, I decide also to add a very thin layer of the Silks glaze to the daisy centres so they'll have a little bit of shimmer. And in addition to the glaze that I've added to the daisy centres, I'm also adding a very small amount in the shadowed areas of the daisy petals. This is a stencil by Heidi Swap, and I'm using this with Liquitex light modelling paste and a palette knife to add some texture to the page. Now that the modelling paste has dried, I'm adding some colour to it. For this, I've chosen two different shades of pink acrylic paint. The first one is Sherbet by Paper Artsy, and the second is Pink Chiffon by Americana. Off camera, I drew a border around the page using a black Faber-Castell pen, and now I'm adding some gesso to that border as a base layer or a priming coat so that I can add some of the Silk's acrylic glaze over the top. I did try the glaze on its own, and because it is so transparent, it was showing too much of the blue colour through and didn't quite match the yellow glaze on other areas of the page. Now, once I'd done this, I actually decided that the glaze on the lettering was standing out too brightly, and I wanted to tone that down a bit, so I took some dilute gesso and went over the top of this to mellow out that yellow colour, and then I liked it much better. And hopefully here you can see that mellowed yellow colour goes much more with the pastel colours of the rest of the page. Now I'm going back to the border because the gesso has dried, and I'm adding a very light coat of the glaze. On the lettering in the centre of the page, I had added 2 coats which had made it that much brighter, so for this I'm being more cautious with the paint and keeping it quite pastel in line with everything else. Once I was happy with the lettering in the centre and the border, I again used the Faber-Castell pen in black and went around all the black areas to darken them. Now I'm taking some Stickles glitter glue because you can't have butterflies without glitter, in my opinion. So I'm going over the top of the graphic stock images, and again remembering that the colours are not going to run or merge into the glitter glue because I added that layer of matte medium right at the beginning of the project. So you can pretty much add whatever you want over these. I could have changed the tone of the wing colour or anything else that I wanted to with paint or other mediums because I know that they are well sealed. So I add some sparkle to the centre areas of the wings, and then I also add some sparkle to the centre of the daisies. And that was the last step in today's project. I want to say thank you to Graphic Stock for sponsoring this video, and again remind you that there is a link in the video description if you would like to subscribe to that service. I hope you enjoyed today's project. Thank you for your comments and likes in advance, and I hope to see you again soon. Remember, if you're interested in any more details on any of the supplies I've used in today's project, there is always a link to the full product list in the video description, as well as my social media sites.